What's up, my friends? There are two things that I think you should know, two things that I wish I would have known before buying this record player, and I'm going to talk about those in this video in just a second. Before I do that, I want to talk about some of the features and the experience of owning this record player. So first off, this record player is extremely affordable. And it's the economics of it determines some of the quality, and I'm going to be very honest about that, is that you get what you pay for when you buy this record player. However, if you're aware of that, I think it's a fantastic buy, but there are those two things that I'm going to talk about in just a second. So it's a pretty light unit. I was surprised by how little weight there is to it. The body of the actual unit is plastic. It is not wood. So it's a plastic with a printed veneer on it. I love the look of it. I think it has a great look. I love the fabric over the speakers. I think that's a really nice touch. The hinges on the dust cover are plastic, and the dust cover is also plastic. And it has these kind of weird design ripples in them that aesthetically I don't love, but I can totally overlook it. But do know I didn't realize that there was going to be these kind of ripples inside the. Wonder if I yeah there they are. Don't love that aesthetic look that much. Now, to use this record player, super simple. Now, it has 3 speeds for different sizes of records. It can take a 10-inch record, it can take a 12-inch record, and for the speed that the record's made for. So I'm gonna demonstrate with a 12-inch record, my good old boys, the Avid brothers right here. I love this record so much. A couple of other features. So we got speed, and then we have auto stop on or off. So auto stop is when we lift the needle or when it goes to the middle, it's going to turn the turntable off on its own. I'll demonstrate all of that in just a second. There's also a lift there on the record player, this little lever right here. I hope you can see that. But it lifts, I'll show you closer actually. When you pull that lever, it lifts the needle up off of the record. And then it has a soft return as well. So know that is that when you put that down, it soft returns back down. It's really nice because the turntable automatically turns on when you move the needle over. I'll demonstrate that in just a second. And then this is our overall power knob and volume knob right here in the front. Kind of has that old school phone, like record player, radio look to it. Also on the front you have the headphone jack, so you can plug headphones into it, listen through your headphones. Has a great sound through headphones, and then it has an LED indicator that tells you a couple of different things. Now you'll notice if I don't have a record on it and I turn it on, that LED will flash blue. This also has Bluetooth capabilities. So you can Bluetooth to some nicer speakers or to a different speaker, whatever you want to do. You can also Bluetooth from your phone to this to play music through these speakers. So there's a lot of different options that you can do with the Bluetooth feature of this speaker or of this turntable. Now, when you put a record on, something different's going to happen with that LED, and it's just going to become a power indicator. So I'm going to throw this record on and show you some of the features, how it works. I'm going to turn the volume down because Amazon won't let us play music on these videos, or they won't get approved. So you won't actually hear the volume. You wouldn't be able to tell the quality of the audio. I am going to talk about the quality of the audio in just a second. That's one of the things that I wanted to make sure we got to. Now, when I have the record on and I lift the needle and turn the needle over, you can see it automatically starts turning the record. That's a standard feature for record players, but I just think it's nice to know that this one also has that. You're not like putting it on and then turning on. So basically you can just move the needle over, place it on the record, and listen to whatever it is that you love to listen to. And then ultimately, if you've never used a record player before, but ultimately this needle is going to get over here to the center. It gets on a quick track to the center, and then as soon as it senses that it's in the center, it stops, and that's what this auto stop on and off is. Now, of course, you can also vary the speed, as I talked about, so just watch the record. You can go faster, right? So you've got 33, you've got 45, and you've got 75. This record is 33. And then when I pull the needle back off, it stops automatically. Now I can also, when I have it on, if I want to just pause the music, I can just pull that lever up off of the record. It keeps the record spinning. So the moment that I want to get it back on, I just lower it down and it goes back to the record pretty much in the same spot that I was on. That would be like a pausing the music feature. So the two things that I wish I would have known. Well, one is I didn't realize you can actually have the dust cover down over the record. It is cut out so that the record can stay in there, and you can play the record with the dust cover down. I thought that was pretty cool. Next thing that I absolutely wish I would have known is the length of the cord. So the cord is only a 3-foot cord. So you have to plan accordingly. When you start thinking about where you want this record player to be, the length of the cord is going to be an issue. You may have to have an extension cord if it's not extremely close to an outlet. That was one thing that I wish I would have known. The power plugs into the back here, just with a pretty standard electrical cable. Let me see if I can get it to shift focus here. Yep, there we go. Just that barrel power cord. And then you'll see a couple outlets and inlets on the back of this record player. Now, it does have RCA outlets. This is really cool. This was one thing that I didn't realize when I bought it. It also has a USB outlet or inlet, and then it also has an auxiliary inlet. So you can use the speakers from another device if you wanted to. If you had like an iPod or something like that, or a Walkman CD player, you can play music through these speakers. If you are going to attach external speakers to the RCAs, you have two options. You have a self-powered set of speakers. These would be a set of speakers that actually plug into the wall and have their own power source. Or if you don't have if they're passive speakers, you'll need an amplifier. Now that's one thing that I want to make sure you know. If you're planning to put it into external speakers that do not have their own power, you need an amplifier with this record player. It's something you can buy fairly cheap on Amazon as well, and you just plug into those RCA plugs as well. So there's lots of input and output options from this thing. Now let's talk about sound. I'm going to be honest. The sound you get from this record player is about what you would expect from something that costs this much with this small of speakers. So my plan has always been and is to put it, connect it to some external bookshelf speakers. And when it's plugged into some external bookshelf speakers, it sounds fantastic for my average sized living room. And we love it. We love that sound of it. If you get this and you put it into a large room or an average sized living room, something like that, and you just use these front speakers, it's loud enough, the sound quality is just not wonderful. So you may be slightly disappointed. But even just for a turntable, the expense of it, the cost of it for just a turntable and then plugging it into external speakers, I think is well worth it. So overall, few compromises you make with the price, but that's to be expected. I hope you realize that that's to be expected. Otherwise, this thing has been absolutely awesome, and I hope you like it as much as we do.